Welcome to Jaycees TV. I'm your host, Joel Adkins. Today, we are here at River's Edge Gallery because the cable studio is still closed for the time being. We're going to be joined by Maiani, who's going to tell us about the Beautiful Baby Contest for 2020, and then by the director here of River's Edge Gallery, Hansen. Stick around. Megan, welcome back to the show. You know, when we were planning the show, an interesting factoid popped into my head.
Oh boy.
You and I hold a unique distinction on Jaycees TV. We're the only people to host, be a guest, and work behind the scenes on the crew.
Yeah, we have done all three.
So I'm gonna have to have like shirts made or something.
Yeah, we're the VIPs.
All right, so you're running the Beautiful Baby Contest again this year, but it's gonna be a lot different this year. Let's talk first about last year, because that was your first year chairing the project. What changes did you bring to the project, and what were the results?
Yeah, so last year I brought on a co-chair with myself to really focus on the marketing of the project. So Maria Brohl, Wyandotte citizen and Wyandotte Jaycee at the time, she came on as the marketing chair, and I did more of the logistics chairing of the project. So we added a congeniality award. Instead of just having the top baby and top baby girl and top baby boy, we had a congeniality award. So we really promoted that to try and get the babies out into the fair to promote the project for us. So that was able to bring a lot more people into our tent to be able to donate towards the project, as well as we continue with the online voting last year, which was a significant increase in profits from the year before. So with the marketing of the online voting and adding that congeniality award to get the babies out and spread the word, we were able to increase our profits by $7,000 last year from what our budgeted number was going into the project.
Now, before we started, you were talking a little bit about the history of the project, which you said started sometime in the 90s?
Yeah, I know my sister was one of the finalists in 1991, so I know it was going on then. And it was just a small little stand right over by the pierogi and crepe kitchen, actually. And there would be about 10 to 20 babies, and people would come and just drop their quarters in, pennies, nickels, dimes, into a little slot, and that's all it filled up. And over the years, it really has evolved. Last year we had 97 babies compared to when it started, the 10 to 20. And now we have to empty their money pockets. We put their pictures in kind of like one of those over-the-door shoe holders, and we put their picture in the front, and then people can donate the money behind. And multiple times throughout the day, we have to empty certain babies' money pockets out and put it in a secure location because they have that many donors that come towards them.
Where do you find, I'm assuming most of the babies are from Wyandotte, but how far out does the contest seem to have a reach?
Yeah, last year we did have a baby from Ypsilanti, so I would say that was probably the farthest way, and we had some from Monroe, so south and kind of more western. We didn't see, past the Detroit area out into the eastern portion of Michigan, but a lot of downriver focused babies. So
in the last handful of years, the project's brought in roughly $13,000 for the chapter over the 4 days at the art fair. Last year, you were able to make, what, 21?
Yeah, it was very close to $21,000. It was over $21,000 that we brought in, but with some of the supplies that we had to buy to put up the tent, print the pictures and all of that, it was just short of $21,000 that we brought into the Wyandotte Jaycees organization, which then goes right back into the community of Wyandotte and downriver.
And the cool thing about that was, so that ended up being the chapter's highest fundraiser last year. Traditionally, the last, call it, 15 years or so, it's been the beer tent year after year after year. It wasn't the case in 2017, of course, when the Haunted House was the top fundraiser. But for Beautiful Baby to do that last year was, I think it surprised a lot of people to have that big of a jump.
Yeah, the first day we brought in, I think it was a little bit over $600 in cash. So I didn't have high hopes after that first day. But then when I started looking at our PayPal was rising by $1,000 every hour. And I kept getting chills and excitement because that money can do so much for our community. And we participate in the project, so we see it going right back into the families that need it the most around here. So it's just a really exciting feeling watching that PayPal go up and then seeing the amount of money. I mean, some people even brought $500 bills to the Beautiful Baby tent at one time.
I've never seen a $500 bill.
Well, five $100
Oh, okay.
bills.
I was going to say, I'd like to see that.
5 $100 bills, and it was a donation on behalf of a company. So it was really neat.
So this year, obviously, because of COVID-19, the art fair has been canceled, much to a lot of people's chagrin. It's my favorite event of the summer. What changes are being made to facilitate the Beautiful Baby contest this year?
Yeah, so since the online was the great majority of our profits last year, we're hoping that we can still continue. We're still continuing with the online portion of the Beautiful Baby contest, so people can still submit their entry on our website, which we'll probably provide that information towards the end of this segment. And then we'll put their picture online, and we will share that link for them to vote and to share with their families and friends for voting. This year, it is not just going to be the 4 days that it usually was of the street fair. Since we are not able to be in person down here in Wyandotte at the street fair, it will go from Sunday to Saturday. So it'll open Sunday the 5th at midnight, and then people will be able to vote until Saturday at midnight, and Saturday's the 11th. So.
And registration's currently going on.
Yeah, registration opened on June 1st, and so people can go to the Wyandotte Jaycees website, which is www.wyandottejaycees.org, and then it takes them to a Google document, so they can submit all their answers right on there. If they don't have access to the internet, they can email it to, or if they don't have access to the internet, they can drop it off in a mailbox. It can go to our P.O. box, and we can register them that way. Or if they reach out to any one of us, we can take their information down, get their payment and their picture, and get their baby registered.
So when the contest is actually open for that week in July, they will also vote at the website?
Yep, so every family will be provided a link for their individual baby. And they can share that link on social media, email, however they want to get it out to their family and friends. And then you just click on a dollar amount, and it goes through a PayPal system. You can pay by whichever type of debit card, credit card that you have, or if people would like to mail in checks, we can also do that, but it would need to be received by the 11th. So that's how they'll be able to vote this year.
Now, I know last year you were pretty much at the tent just about all day, every day. And I know you particularly enjoyed interacting with the baby, so that's going to be, it definitely takes out that personal aspect. But I mean, with the situation as it was, we were happy to be able to salvage the project at all, having already lost the beer tent. And you know, who knows, going into the fall, the haunted house project could be in jeopardy. So what are your expectations this year?
My expectations are to have at least 50 babies registered. That's my goal. That is about half of what we had last year. And to hopefully raise at least $5,000 in the project, so that we can still continue to be able to do Thanksgiving food baskets in the fall, as well as Christmas gifts and Christmas food for families at right around the holidays.
You know, I mentioned that statistic earlier about us two being the only ones to host guests and work on the crew. I got to thinking the other day, I mean, I don't know if this is for a fact, but in my own mind, I don't know that anyone, you may be the only person who has ever chaired the beer tent, Beautiful Baby, and the haunted house.
Which are all three top
The
fundraisers.
big three, yeah.
I don't know, we would have to go back and look through, but I'm very thankful to be able to have started with the beer tent, moved to the Beautiful Baby, and then be asked by you and Danny to help with haunted house, because it really is a learning process.
Yeah.
You learn a lot about yourself and a lot about the community, and you really get to interact and have that communication with the community, which is so important because so many of us are social media focused now. To be able to go out and have that interaction is definitely something that helps all of us build as a person.
Well, I think the social media aspect is, to me, essential. That was one of the things when I started helping with the haunted house. I mean, obviously you can't run a haunted house online. We couldn't adapt that like we can do Beautiful Baby, but promoting on social media and be able to fundraise there, it helps boost the fundraisers so much and get the word out there, especially something like Beautiful Baby, because family members who aren't even in the state, they could be anywhere in the world, can also participate.
And speaking of anywhere in the world, last year we had people that donated from, or we had engagements on social media and donations come from Canada, Australia, and Ireland. So we did reach worldwide last year, so we have taken it from one community to multiple communities, statewide, nationwide, and now worldwide. So
yeah, I think as a nonprofit, you always have to be creative to some extent with your fundraising, but especially now, because when COVID, first started to take a foothold, and you start hearing rumblings that the 4th of July parade might be canceled, the street fair might be canceled. It's kind of like, how are we going to raise any money?
right.
So it has been a bit of a process adapting. But it was funny, you mentioned when Danny and I asked you to help co-chair the haunted house.
Yeah.
I don't remember so much we were asking. We're like, well, if you want us to run it, you're running it with us.
Yeah, I'm easily persuaded into helping, especially when it does good for the community.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I love haunted house, but it is an enormous project. And anytime I feel like someone has a skill that they can bring to the table and take some of the pressure off myself or another co-chair, I'm all for it.
And I have a co-chair with this project as well because, as you mentioned, last year I was at the tent from sunrise to sunset every single day. And those are long hours. I mean, it's pretty close to a 16-hour day out there in the heat. And this year, I didn't know that we would just be online. So at the beginning of the year, I talked with another one of our members, Liz Abshire, and she was able to say yes to co-chairing the project. So that would have helped alleviate and
Right.
allow both of us to be at the tent and have time to still continue to do stuff during the week. But now that we're not going to be outside at the street fair, a lot of that long hour manpower is gone because
Right.
we just really have to upload a picture to a website and send a link over an email, which is a lot less manpower than the in-person event.
What I'll miss was it, because I stopped by a number of times last year when I could, to either bring you a donut or give you a bathroom break.
Yeah.
But was it Rachel Newland who put together that baby playlist?
Yeah, Rachel was one of our board members, and she would come up there and sit with me, and she would always bring her little speaker. And she put all kinds of songs that had the word baby in it into this playlist, and it was actually a fun playlist. We had people dancing out in front of the tent. We were interacting in front of the tent, so that was a lot of fun. Glad you brought that up.
Anytime I came by, I mean, I always had fun sitting there and crowd watching, and then people would come up with the babies. But the playlist, I got a kick out of that. So hopefully by next year, won't be the case, and we can have the street fair again. But I do think you and Liz did a nice job adapting this to an only online format this year, and extending it for the week. I think it's a smart idea because we're not constrained to the 4 days. That's the one thing about the art fair is we're constrained to those 4 days.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, Megan, obviously I hope the project goes great. And is there any you want to repeat the information?
Yeah, so if you'd like to register, you can go to our website, www.wyandottejaycees.org, and there's a Google document that'll get you registered, and it does provide more information if you can't fill out that Google form online.
And we're going to put that information up on the screen, and stay with us because coming up next we'll have an interview with Jeremy Hansen, who runs the River's Edge Gallery. All right, welcome back to the program. Now we're with Jeremy Hansen, director here at River's Edge Gallery. Jeremy,
Yeah, bonjour.
you've had a lot of free time the last few months, I assume.
It's been strange. I think people's first thoughts aren't about what art can they get in their home. Even though I think now maybe it's going to change a little bit. But yeah, I've been here. I've been doing tuck and pointing, fixing things up, talking to artists, making plans for the future. So, plus just getting the gallery ready. I'm opening up on Tuesday. What day is that? June
The 15th.
June 15th.
Yeah.
June 15th.
Oh, well, so then when you reopen, what kind of installations or exhibits you got coming up?
Because of the rules, I
Right.
believe it's 10. maybe I'll have a protest here and have 100 people in. No, I'm just joking. I think that I'm kind of throwing it out there to individuals, collectors, groups, to sort of use the space. I also can't, I can't serve, really. So it's like,
Not officially.
well, even then, it's like a little bit worrisome with, with passing on
Sure.
and stuff. So it's like you can be a BYOB event kind of thing, wine, chill out with your friends and hang out for a few hours, and then, maybe a before dinner, after dinner thing, But yeah, I've got some new artists bringing some fantastic new work in. Artists have been really working hard during this whole time, so it's been good. Yeah.
Well, for people who may not be familiar, what kind of art do you guys have here at River's Edge Gallery?
Well, if you notice behind us, we have contemporary gallery, focusing on local regional artists. That's really that's it in a nutshell. We do have like a few artists that are from out of the country, like Jenny Ver from Montmartre, Paris, but he has a connection to Detroit. He stayed here for 6 months, did a whole series, so we became friends. And then my friends Andreas and Ralph Hubert, who were here last July, and that was great. Two fantastic, amazing artists from Germany, friends of mine. I've shown there, and last year they showed here, and now I have their work, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, wasn't that part they participated in the Rouge River cleanup?
We did. We worked with because we are trash artists, so we find objects and rework it, repurpose it to be art, and they do it beautifully. They really accomplish something really great by taking just stuff that's plugging up the waterways, and it's pretty awesome. So yeah.
So I imagine with the cancellation of the art fair, I mean, that's got to be something that bummed you out, right?
No, not at all, actually.
No?
It's okay. People should stay safe. I mean,
Well, true.
I'm an art gallery here. Pat Slack started it in 1980.
Right.
I think we're celebrating 40 years this year, and I think people will come and see art. The art fair's got its own flavor. With cover bands and hot dogs and beer, which and people come down. And you have artists who come from out of town, so now might be a good opportunity for the community to band together and support their local artists, and kind of see what's out there. So I'm kind of hoping it's going to be a little more focused on this year on like what's in your backyard. You don't have to travel as far. Traveling is still great. You should travel. But hopefully it'll be a community focus. That would be, hopefully that's, instead of looking for money and things else outside, I think, we gotta really just start supporting each other locally more,
Yeah, I imagine, any small business who's been closed for the last 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, what Jeff Bezos made, how much money?
Well, yeah,
Amazon. So when people who shop at it, it's good if it's convenient for you. It's good, but it doesn't really help your local economy.
Right.
So.
Now, one thing you've done here in the past that I thought was interesting, and last October I had an opportunity to come and we shot an episode, put it on cable, was the Stories Upstairs.
Yeah.
Is that something that's going to be in the works in the next couple months?
There are plans to get our events going again, but you just have to be careful and mindful. And I'm not into the whole Zoom thing. I think there's a disconnect.
There is, yeah.
I was doing Instagram lives with a lot of my artists, so you'd get a chance to, I'd run around the gallery and I'd focus on an artist's work, and the artist would be there and they would talk about it, and I'd interview them and ask questions. So, I'm not adverse to doing digital stuff, but there's a disconnect.
Right. No, like for people who don't know, could you explain the Stories Upstairs format?
Stories Upstairs was just the brainchild of me and the amazing Shannon Kaysen, who's a storyteller, a downriver storyteller. And we're just looking for, I was trying to get him to do like a storytelling event downriver, and we went and we saw a bigger space, and we just didn't feel right. The space he wasn't into it. So we came here afterwards and just walked around just to talk, to sort of, okay, what's our game plan? And he's just pacing around. And I'm like, what's up, bro? What are you doing? He's like, we should just have it here. So it's really intimate. You know, I've had 40 people up here. You know, and yeah, you have 7 minutes, and it's usually they're themed. So it's a 7-minute story. There's a theme every month, and Shannon generally hosts it. I know that he's looking to sort of mentor or have other artists or storytellers participate as well. But yeah, you just tell your story. It could be funny, could be true, could be fictitious, or you know, it's as long as it seems real, I think, or it's just good writing. Good writing is good writing, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's what I enjoyed about it. Is you know, I covered the event in October, so of course it was, you know, kind of Halloween theme, people telling scary stories. But each person that came up here kind of had their own take on it. Some of them were a bit campy.
Right. I believe the theme was spooky.
Yes. Yeah, spooky.
Yes.
Well, but then there was the older gentleman. His was really, and he even said himself, kind of like a Twilight Zone episode. He talked about his old war buddy and how he himself got sent to Vietnam, and his buddy stayed stateside and then died tragically, like in a motorcycle accident. So yeah, it's interesting to see how people interpret them. So there was that story that really kind of made people reflect, and then there was Belial's story, which, I mean, had everybody laughing. It's just an absurd story.
Absurd and sad, and Bilal Swain, he's a great comedian. Because I also host, what's it called?
with Dan Jones.
With Dan Jones, yeah.
Pinball comedy.
Hashtag pinball
there you
comedy.
Go.
It's actually called hashtag pinball comedy. And yeah, with the Dan Jones, and we do that at the Silver Ballroom at Jeremy Sladovic's place, and it's a great turnout. So they want to, you know, things are starting to open up. We want to start doing stuff like that, and you know, we're gonna get the ball rolling. So yeah, I guess I'm not really particularly gonna have any focused events at this moment in time. I'm gonna be open on Tuesday. I encourage people to come out. If you want to, you know, bring a bottle of wine and like, you know, sit down, I'll give you a tour of the space. You know, we're gonna have some great deals in custom framing and our interior design. We've got clients ready that are just, you know, chomping at the bit for us to get out there and start interior design projects. So, so we're a 3-tiered business. You know, we do the interior design, we do custom framing, and fine art. And fine art's not always going to pay the bills, so you have to, you know, diversify. So, you know.
Well, I can vouch for the framing, because you redid a picture for my mom last Christmas. Yeah. So, and she was happy with that. I was happy with it.
That was a rush. That was a fun rush.
It sure was. It was going to give you about 2 days.
Right. But yeah, I even I don't know if you saw the windows or the John Lee Avenue. Certain businesses have participated, like Total Health Foods. They have a display of Brant McLean and Sean Stachel in the window. Willow Tree has some really great Sean Stachel carved fish and 2 Patty Izzo photographs. Sandra J had some really great Izzo work. So the idea was, you know, if you're scared about going into a business, or you know, you can like sort of do a nice little tour while you're walking the streets and being safe. So.
You know, one thing I find interesting about you is a lot of people who live in Wyandotte, they grew up in Wyandotte, or they're from around the area, which was the case for myself. No, you're from Vancouver.
Vancouver, yeah.
How'd you get here?
My ex-wife was from Southgate.
Okay.
So you know, I wanted to escape. You know, escape from Vancouver. We just moved here. I met her when I was on Disney and Disney on Ice, and yeah, she's from Southgate, and boom, here you go.
Was she also in the show?
She was in the show.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, and just when I approached this place in 2004, I was actually getting my degree in interior design, and I needed to finish an internship, and I was in 2004. So 2020, here I am, still. I have a little important role. You know, I handle a lot of the affairs and things, and yeah, it's been quite the adventure.
What do you personally like in a piece of artwork? Like, what speaks to you?
Sincerity, man. You know, That's really it. So there's, you know, how can you judge a piece if someone really cares or if someone's really putting effort into it? You can't, you know. I mean, from, you know, you have some adults that are painting very sophomore, naive work, but, you know, if there's a real sincere intention, who am I to be like, oh, it's trash, it's garbage, you know? But then you have someone else who can just beautifully, you know, reproduce an image with a pencil and say, oh, it's someone's face, but there's no soul in it. You know, there's no, let's say it's just someone with skill. So it's just a balance thing for me, man. I you know, I personally I just like to see, I like to see sincerity and, you know, and it's pretty, I'd like to see an artist's work, you know, and I try not to remove myself from it. You know, I know what the market is here and value and things like that.
Right.
You know, I know if an artist is not going to do well here, if they're just going to put their art up on the wall and it won't sell, or no one will be interested. You know, I'm aware of that. But so that's part of it as well. But I try to be supportive, and you know, it's all a guess, man. I mean, there's been some work here I'm like, wow. Okay, that's awesome, it's sold, and then there's other works I'm like, how's that not sold?
Right,
So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the customers start coming through that door when you open back up.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I think people are, you know, I've been seeing people on the streets already a little bit, and people out eating and drinking and stuff. So, yeah, come on down to Rivers Edge Gallery, man. Come find me on Art at the Edge on Instagram. Art at the Edge, ARTATTHEDGE is my Instagram. Rivers Edge Gallery on Facebook. Yeah, just hit me a note message or whatever, and come on out, man. Come join the fun.
We're going to put up some information on the screen about the Jaycees organization. But Jeremy, you saved our bacon today, so we don't have the cable studio. So thanks for letting us shoot here today.
I would like to get in there soon, man. I'm looking forward to it. When's that opening up?
We're not sure yet. July 1st, maybe. So don't quote me on that.
So back to you in the studio.
Yeah, whenever we get there. I'd like to say thanks once again to Jeremy Hansen for allowing us to shoot here today at the Rivers Edge Gallery. And thanks also to my fellow Jaycee, Maiani, for being a guest on today's show. Tune in next time for Jaycees TV.